Hi. Welcome. You just someday.
What just happened? That was so sudden.
Someday we basically, from the time you walk in here, actually from the time I walk in here, because poor JP's over there just typing cat away, doing his thing, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then Allison gets here, and we have so much to talk about.
Allison made it brighter. It's so y'all. How many times have I? I hate, in general. I don't hate many things.
You don't. You're a very loving person.
I hate bags of candy being opened in movie theaters. And I hate.
Hold on. I'm sorry. We need to have a moment for that. Are you saying like the sound of the open? You hate.
Okay. You want me to just keep going?
And
then I'm going to smack. That's not annoying at all.
Smacking makes me want to leave.
Did everybody's blood pressure just go up?
We need to talk biggest pet peeves after we start the show, because this is I don't think we've ever had that conversation.
No, we haven't.
Well, these fluorescent lights might be my biggest pet peeve ever. I have been through a million different ways to because you can see them and this is so tacky because it's like burping in the microphone.
Who would do that? It's so unprofessional.
Know. I mean,
I know monsters today. Just coffee.
I've tried so many things, and then I just hung this new panel, and it made it worse.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Can we just turn the lights out?
I mean, we can. I guess
we can, but that would be
here.
Go do it. Let's see what happens.
Look. Okay, can you take the panel down and then look at
the
lights?
It's still. It's gone. What's wrong? Look, it's not there anymore.
It's pretty dark.
You still look good. What do you mean?
I think it looks good.
Is it good?
Except I look like I'm in a cave now. It's like this is what it looked like when we did the power video, and I was in a shady corner and was like,
because you are shady. Anyway, fluorescent lights and.
Anyway, in case you're wondering where you've ended up this morning, we're the right side. At least you hit JP. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison, and he is JP. And on the show today, beyond our pet peeves, we have a tour around Twix. But before that, we have the words of the day, and we will dance, and we hope you'll dance with us. We have a bit of yammering to do. Then we have a tale of two Scots.
Huh?
I've only had 2 cups of coffee. One is Stadthagen. Do you think okay, right. Bet, is he going to have his styrofoam cup full of Diet Coke or not?
Oh, gosh.
Yes or no?
Diet Coke.
Well, we don't know if it's Diet Coke. Okay, Amy Beth and I had this conversation before the show today. Here, I'm going to bring up the picture.
Well, where was I?
You weren't here yet.
You weren't here yet.
But I love, and it's because I was making a graphic of him coming on the show today, and I used this picture. But I just love that he, everywhere he goes, has a styrofoam cup with him. But it is because it is so fitting, but it's just so aura.
What are you showing us?
Here, I'm pulling it up. The fact that he's everywhere he goes, he's got a styrofoam cup. And there was a video, I think it was during the redistricting, and here, I'll put it back up. And the Democrats were throwing a fit on the floor about it. And in the video, there's Wanda Van doing this, and then somebody else doing that, and in the back corner. In the back corner, you just see him.
Put
he's
my
just
Wanda glasses on. She was going like this.
Yes, yeah, and he's got his hand in his pocket like that, and he's just watching it all.
Straight up, Coach Stadthagen.
I think he's just a really, to me, he probably drives a truck and he backs it in. Only rednecks back in.
We're gonna have to talk about.
He is a solid Alabama redneck.
Yes,
he's all. It might be Grapey Co. Yeah. I don't know. RC Cola.
Well, what was a Coke at room temp with a lime?
Maybe it is that off-brand cola.
No,
in the cup. But
he's
too think it's RC?
Yeah, he would never drink off-brand.
You're right. Who am I kidding?
I don't know.
Did you see his suit? No, there's nothing off-brand about him. So we are going to talk to Stadthagen.
There's no D.
Stadthagen.
Stop.
Lederhosen. Stadthagen.
He wears, what are lederhosen?
The German things that, lederhosen, and they dance around, and men wear them as their like overalls with their shorts. Anywho, so we've got that Scott, and then we have Scott Buttram. He's the editor. I know. He is the editor of the Trustful Tribune. We're going to have just a great roundabout conversation. He's just an all-around good guy.
Y'all
and
gonna
we're
love him.
so excited to have him on.
I know him as the U.S. Secretary of Common Sense.
Which-
I didn't know he was like a editor.
I think he's got the best Twitter handle I've ever seen.
Yeah, he does. And I was wondering if maybe today, could you remind me, JP? I want to ask him to give me a Twitter handle that's really good because she hadn't helped me yet. But beyond that, everybody, I would like to, and get the applause ready, to wish my husband a happy birthday.
No.
Happy birthday, Chris Shaver.
Another year around the
A round of
moon.
applause.
The moon, the flat Earth.
This.
Another year around the flat Earth.
sun.
Yep, another year around. Oh, there's that.
What
So-
is it? What do you do in a year?
What do you do in a year? Well, he takes.
You go around the sun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Allison goes another year around the moon.
I
we
thought
didn't
you were
land on.
referring to his funny video that was a GI video, and I was like, "Wait, did you see the funny birthday video they put up of him today?" No,
No.
it was just about the moon. No, it wasn't. I'm kidding. You were talking about the moon and
I was
another
like,
trip around the sun,
Okay.
and your hand signal. I was like, "Wait, did she see what Juliana put up for him for his
No.
birthday?" No, she didn't.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday. We shall celebrate later. I
Tallest
have
man
tried
I
a new
know.
bakery.
Not
And
your
I'll
kitchen?
let you know. Nope. I'll let you know how it goes after. This lady is sharp, and we're probably going to want to interview her. She had a hand in starting the golf channel.
And
She's
she
amazing.
bakes?
Yeah, this is her retirement in Columbiana. So she has a shop and everything.
That's cool.
So I'll fill you guys in
You're
tomorrow. I'll give you
dinging.
the name, whatever. Oh, is that me
Somebody
dinging?
just dinged.
Okay, sorry. I
You've
was
been
dinging.
dinged.
So that's our day. I don't know how we're going to cram it all in because in between all of that, we've got the montage and just dandy conversations. But guys, because it's the beginning of the show and there's already a video I hope that JP's making of Allison and I because we match. But it's time for WAD, the word of the day.
The wads.
You got,
Oh.
where's your music?
Did
Oh,
anybody
shit.
ever do Iron Tribe
No.
or CrossFit?
Oh, workout of the day.
yeah.
No, my back hurts too bad to do that.
You can't just. I need a mental okay. We
Okay,
got
well,
5 seconds.
The entire sound is like 2 minutes long.
No. Yeah, I just need to know when we're gonna end because it can't end somewhere awkward.
Yeah,
Like
this
Amy
is-
Beth standing there while Scott and I dance off
And then Scott thought I was look, I didn't want to tell him. I was too embarrassed.
to dance.
But guys, no. He kept saying, "You were fun in college." And I wanted to say, no, actually. I
Did you know
wasn't."
him in college?
No. I graduated from Sanford. I spent 2 years up north at a school in Indiana. And then I finished at Sanford and I worked in my dad's office. And I also was getting ready for Miss Alabama stuff. But it was really boring. Like I didn't get fun until I married Chris because he's the fun one. But I was too embarrassed to tell Scott.
Like
I
I must
didn't
be
go
thinking
to-
about somebody else.
I didn't go to a tailgate until I was in my 40s. Okay. I was too embarrassed to tell him.
He's gonna come on and be like, "No, Amy Beth, remember that one time we were at the tailgate and
That was not me.
oh, it's another Amy Beth."
You must be thinking, never mind. I was about to do a song lyric. Leave that alone.
I do have to ask. I have no. Oh wait, we're doing the word of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
But
watch.
no. I got to ask because do you do anything this week? Is Miss Alabama week? Do you have things to do?
We will be getting our new Miss Alabama on. I don't this year. And
Because usually you're like, I gotta go be fabulous.
well, I don't, but I'm excited it's pageant week because a lot of the girls are going to win a lot of scholarship money for their schools. But no, this week I'm not emceeing and I can't wait to see it. I think I'll get to see the show 1 or 2 days and then we've got other stuff to do, but It's exciting. So
Y'all want to know what the first conversation and the first topic the three of us ever had on a show we did together
what?
was pageants and Miss America.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, y'all remember that?
Wait.
When y'all filled in with Phil, and the first segment, you're like, okay, we got to talk Miss America last night. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and then y'all were like, JP, did you watch it? And I was like, no.
Did we really?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
But,
I think
JP.
something happened. I think.
It was a story for some reason.
Yeah, it was a story.
Because our Miss Alabama had been Miss America. And she's also an NBA player's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But Abby is awesome in her own right. She is in nursing school at Auburn and plans to become a nurse practitioner. She's incredible. And then she goes out with Walker Kessler. They've dated for 3 years and they also share the same birthday. It's random that I know that. Our Miss Alabama this year is Emma Terry. She has her master's in accounting and now, oops, by the way, she's going to go to law school. So I'll get the girls on, but that's what had happened was our Miss Alabama had become Miss America. And I think that she was giving up her crown or something.
I just remember Phil said that my Aunt Charlene texted him mid-show when he was away and goes, Phil, they're making JP talk about pageants.
And now look how lucky you are.
Hi.
But
Get to do it every day.
That was the first. I was like, okay, we'll get to feel the. Okay, we're talking pageants.
Welcome to the new show. But this year, okay, tell me if I'm wrong. And I don't think I am, although I am often. There's sisters in the pageant this
Really?
year. Yes. Okay, so Hannah Adams
Oh,
went to Alabama, graduated. She came in runner-up last year.
yeah. She's
And
fabulous.
I think she won. She missed Shelby County
Mhm.
this year. Okay, and then her sister Haley, who's at Alabama now, I'm pretty sure Shaw won. I think I tried to combine those two words. I'm pretty sure she won Miss Alabama, and so her sister Haley is in the pageant as well.
I did not know
Y'all, I could
that
have made that
Hannah
up.
had us. No, we're going to look online in the break
Hold on.
and we're going to find out. But I think you are, look, you know more than I do. I don't,
Is that an issue in the family?
and no.
What if little sister beats big sister?
Oh, now we're having fighting words.
yeah.
Listen, I've watched Hannah and she has earned a lot of scholarship money and does really well. So I think it's a win-win.
Here we
all the way
go.
around.
Let's meet the 45 women.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Allison.
Okay, y'all keep. Did
Okay.
I just ding? I think I'm the dinger.
No, we're dinging because we're in Slack, guys. It's our Slack. It's our Slack that's dinging. Okay. All right. Look.
Word of the day.
Well, Allison's looking. The word of the day.
Quick before Allison looks.
I'm just going to tell you the word of the day. No, I'm not. Is the most important or decisive part of something, such as a problem, issue, or puzzle. JP, what's that word? Starts with a C.
Oh, Belle Casey's in it. Matt Casey, the Shelby County District
Yes.
Attorney's
Is she
daughter.
really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Wait, say the definition one
It's
more
the
time.
most important or decisive
Right, there's
part
Hannah.
of something, such as a problem, issue, or puzzle. I love this word. It's a
And there's
very-
Haley. I was right.
Up top.
Oh,
That was
could this
bad.
word?
So
okay.
bad.
Now I'm listening. Tell me the
Is
definition
the
again.
most important or decisive part of something, such as a problem, issue, or puzzle.
The pinnacle,
Close. JP.
the apex,
Cornerstone.
Close. No.
the
Is it? Okay, it's a noun.
the crux.
Yes.
Oh,
Did you cheat?
No.
Okay, I
can
admit
tell
it.
by her face she didn't cheat
Today
this
I did
time.
not cheat.
I can tell
Yesterday
by
I
your
did.
face. You did cheat yesterday.
No,
Yeah, you cheated
I cheated
yesterday.
sometime. Yeah. No, I didn't.
No. She
Don't ever play cards with her unless
No.
she's your partner and y'all can like.
No.
No, yesterday she thought somebody texted you and she looked at your phone, but she didn't cheat. She didn't actually.
Oh yeah, I didn't purposefully look. No.
Uh-huh.
Anywho, what was it? Crux.
Crux. It's a campaign word. The crux of the matter is. Can you just see a political saying that?
You do your thumb like this, like
No. The political hand signal is this,
yeah, You do-
like with your thumb, like
yeah. Well, now you look like you're
I
fishing.
did
I want
not.
to earn your vote.
No, it's more.
I feel like we need a new hand signal for them. You know, kind of like years ago, the word gravitas was the word, and this is now the signal. We need a new one.
All right, y'all ready for Gen Z word
Yes,
of the day?
sir.
I like this one. This is when a social media post, most of it being a tweet, has more replies or comments than likes.
Oh, I know it.
What?
She does know it.
I do know it. Do you know it?
What is it?
You get ratioed.
And it's one of the best because, like, if somebody says something that's so stupid and then the first comment is like, enjoy this ratio, and it's got like twice of the likes than the tweet above it, it typically means that people didn't like the tweet and agreed with the this tweet sucks post than the actual tweet itself.
I love it.
So
Yeah, it's like 2-1. This stinks.
yes.
Okay, I like
Versus-
that.
It's
Like
like,
real time.
boo. By the way, do y'all do Live 360?
No.
I do only because my
You're
kids
strong,
made
crazy.
me.
So we do Live 360 in our family, but my sister and I this weekend found a feature. I didn't know this existed. Like you can't it's got the feature of you can send like a love ya, and it does like a with the hearts on all your screen. It will show up on your screen, or do like a ETA and have like a watch. And there's one of you can boo somebody in your family, and it throws tomatoes on their screens.
No way.
And my sister and I, like 10:30 at night, were booing like both of my brothers. And like boo, and my brother's like, "What are y'all doing?"
Wait, so you cannot have
Here.
Life 360 pulled up, and you can send a tomato, and it'll
yeah, and
show
you'll get
up
a
on your.
notification
do that.
of like this person booed you.
I'm gonna do it right now to
But,
all my kids.
I'm gonna
I don't have
Here,
Life
Here,
360.
let's.
I'm gonna boo my sister and show y'all on screen like what it looks like and what it sounds like.
Jeb's totally getting booed because he's still at home.
It sounds like this. Oh wait, it doesn't show up on your side. I lied.
Oh.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Let's boo Jennings. Okay, there's Jennings. Here we go.
All right, let's
Wait,
boo
wait.
Jennings.
Let me turn the sound on. Does it
Okay.
make a sound?
No, not on your screen actually. It only doesn't. Oh, it did.
Oh, it did.
Boo.
So now it's going. The tomatoes are going through the phone to boo her.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. I just have Find My iPhone. You know, we didn't do Live 360.
Slow down. Get me food. It sends a cheeseburger. You're cooked.
Maybe
Sends
we
a
are
pointing.
gonna do Live 360.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're cooked.
You're cooked.
Let's see
Oh,
what
love
does
it.
the cheeseburger send?
Boy, a cheeseburger right now would be great.
Okay.
Anyways,
Anywho,
just thought
I
that was
did not
funny.
know that. That's a new thing.
Oh, you guys, I forgot as I'm writing my story down. Do you know what today is? Tuesday. It means we spill the tea on Tuesday. It means we have allegedly.
I've already got a good one.
I've got a good one. Ooh, I cannot wait for our allegedly. My allegedly today is kind of in honor of my husband's job, but we've got allegedly. So, like, just we're only a few minutes in. We're going to pack it all into 2 hours, but just don't forget, after our last guest at 11:30, we will have allegedly.
Allegedly.
Brace yourselves. Now, let's do a 1-minute tour around Twitter
Or do you
and
want
then
to
jump into Yammer. You want to go right into Yammer?
I think,
I think so.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
Scott? Which Scott?
won.
Is Scotty coming on at 10:30?
Scotty's at 10:30.
S squared is at 10:30.
Okay.
The chairman is at 10:30.
The chairman. Okay. All right.
Don't ever do that again, JP.
yeah,
Okay. Can we yammer?
let's Yammer. Do you have any music for Yammer? Like a bird? Do you have any bird songs?
No, did not.
Wait, you said we were gonna do.
Oh, I do
yeah.
have my makeshift
Yeah.
jammer sound effect.
Woohoo.
Of,
Well, we can do it. That was good. Let's do our own.
That
Yammer.
was not as good.
okay,
As,
do you want me to do the yammer and then y'all do the bird sound after I do the boom?
yeah.
Okay. Yammer.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. Sorry, I cacawed. Hoo-hoo. We're hooing.
We can. Tuesday.
Okay. Are we cawing or hooing?
Let's call. I'll call.
What if we kahoo, kahoo?
Okay, what do you want to do? Kahoo? Or
Oh,
call? Caw.
You can't whistle.
for some
Oh, bless it all. Bless it all. All right. It's your new shoes. They're just making you happy.
No, y'all. I woke up so early. Maybe I need to take a nap.
I did too. I slept terribly last night. Like I had a newborn, but I don't. Okay. Yammer story number 1. Go, JP.
Oh, can I go first? Oh, no, you go first.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we want to share the screen while we do these or not.
We can.
But this is a story 5 minutes ago from Grayson Everett. Alabama's top GOP legislators recommend nominees to Governor Ivey's
Morgan Murphy.
Public Service Commission.
What? I'm sorry. I'm so confused.
Morgan wants to be on the PSC?
Does he want to be on the PSC?
That's okay. Who else is on there?
Let's see.
Oh, I gotta put my
Wait.
You're going really fast.
I'm trying to
I
get to
can't-
names. I'm trying to get to names.
Ronald Burgess, John Olszewski, and Ricky Steele. You just know that's how his name sounds.
It's not even funny. It's not even funny except my eyeballs are burning. Okay,
All
wait.
right, we'll stop at the 4-year slate. These are the first 3 names.
Okay, I gotta get a tissue for
What?
I'm serious. It's
Her
all
mascara is
burning.
falling apart.
Y'all finish Yammer. I gotta go get.
So for
my.
the
Give me some tissue.
I'll read the yammer.
Okay, you do.
For the 4-year slate, we got Ronald L. Burgess Jr., John Olszewski, and Ricky Steele.
Say that name right.
John Olszewski,
Ricky Steele.
Ricky Steele,
Thank you.
or Fred Johnson for the 2-year slate, Morgan Murphy, or William Newman.
Hmm.
So those are the 5 or 6, the 6 recommendations.
Okay. Explain to me something. Did we decide one way or the other which way the Public Service Commission is going to go? Or are the people who are running going to be elected and then these people are coming in to form the commission? Thank you.
I can't even remember where we ended up. Honestly, I that was such a cluster mess of a bill.
Okay, so it's not just me.
No. I
Okay.
can't. Plus, I was on Epstein Island. I can't remember.
Okay.
Does it say? It should say, if Grayson's a good journalist, it should say how this works.
Okay. Yeah.
The initial appointed seats are slated to convert over time to elections held by congressional district, completing the commission's transition to a 7-member elected body.
I knew it.
He's a good journalist.
He's a good
Thank you,
journalist.
Grayson, for telling us how this is going to go.
Okay. So
makes
these
sense.
are, how does this work? Do they have to be like go through confirmation hearings, or once they're appointed or nominated, then that's it? Like, are these our people?
I think they're going to be our people. I think they're going to get appointed. And then I like that they convert over time. That's good. I still think this is all kind of sus. But if it makes our power bills go down.
So then we have Matt Gentry, who's in.
Yeah, love him.
And then Jim Ziegler and
That other guy.
Chris Speaker are in a runoff.
Yeah, Chris.
Well, that was quite the yammer. We did not get through the other two. I just had some prisoners that escaped.
And I had some Alabama softball and they lost.
What does that mean?
Some prisoners escaped.
I thought that was
Literally-
a metaphor.
No. 4 Perry County inmates escaped. And I'm like, well, why not? Add a little excitement to your life.
You're going back in. Might
Yeah.
as well have like a good week off.
2 of them are caught, but 2 are still running.
Like, run.
What happened with Alabama softball?
They lost.
Yeah,
they had
they
to play 2 in a row and they lost. It was a heartbreaker.
Does anybody know if Auburn won last night?
I didn't keep track. I don't know.
We watched a
Blank
little bit of
stares.
baseball game. I need to go back. Okay, y'all. When we be back, we will be back with Scott Stadthagen, the chairman. After this.
Congressman Barrymore. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing fine. Great to be on with you guys.
We're so happy you're here. Thank you so much. We want to just kick it off with one of the first things that we learned about you on Tuesday night. It's been out there. It's been talked about. But we would love for people to understand your Liberty Score and what that means and who scores it, because that's a big deal.
Yeah, so Liberty Score is a composite of the conservative groups that kind of track how you vote. And the way they do it is based on what am I doing to protect your liberty and freedoms. And so Coach is a 95 and I'm a 96. We're very close, two of the highest Liberty scores in the nation. But I see my number one job as protecting people's liberty as your member. And so I've always voted for the people's liberty and the freedom. And so, we're always honored to have those scores and just vote our convictions. And so there are a lot of great people that are in the fight, but those third-party groups that score, they don't have a spin, they don't have a bias, they just put the numbers out there. And so, yeah, having the highest Liberty score in the delegation, one of the highest in the nation, we're honored to do that. And I think that's my job. And it seems like the scorecard, I'm getting an A+.
Very good.
I've been in the Keys for a week, so I'm really out of the loop. Like, y'all are going to tell me what's been going on. But one of the things that hasn't gone away is the Save America Act and kind of people still asking for that. I don't think you're in DC today, but what are you hearing? What's going to happen? Are we going to see that at all? And what's your stance on what needs to happen, specifically with the filibuster?
Yeah, so I've been a proponent, as the president is, as coaches, we have to nuke the filibuster. The Dems are not going to give us the 7 or 8 votes we need to actually verify who's voting in U.S. elections. And without that, they can cheat. And it's not just enough to have an ID, because California issues everybody IDs and they let them vote with them. So we need to verify that you're in fact a U.S. citizen voting in U.S. elections for U.S. leadership. And so that's my position. The reason it is my position is because, again, the Dems aren't going to, they're not going to allow us to pass the Save America Act, even if it's polling at 80% among their base. 78% of those folks in the Democratic Party want U.S. citizens electing U.S. leaders. The Democrats ran the narrative of foreign interference in elections, Russian collusion, crossfire hurricane, all the things they did to attack President Trump, his team of people. And so the true foreign interference is elections when you have non-U.S. citizens electing U.S. leaders. And so we have to move the filibuster, guys, because the only 2 people that kept the Dems from doing it, Schumer wanted to do it, and it was Manchin and Sinema. They're both gone. And if we hear, it's naive to think that when the Democrats get control of the Senate, and whenever that happens, that they won't nuke it and drive a far-left agenda. And so to codify President Trump's 350 executive orders, to make sure that we have the Save America Act, the thing that is polling 80% among the people in this country, we're going to have to nuke the filibuster. And if we don't think they won't. We've never arrested a president in the prior history of this nation. We've never indicted a president. We've never raided their homes. They've done so many things that are off the reservation, off the ledge on this, that the thing they won't nuke the filibuster to maintain power is simply naive on our part.
That's such a good point. And it's really hard for people to understand that. They mean what they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to believe them when they say it, right? If they say they're going to do something, they tell you who they are. You just watch what they've been doing. And so the weaponization and what they've done to Trump in the first 4 years and what they'll do to this country, given the opportunity, there are no limits. And they'll make D.C. a state. They'll get 2 more senators from there. They'll start doing things they can to maintain power. It's not about the people. If it was, this thing would already be voted out of the Senate. We voted it out of the House. But it's really about how do they maintain power, and keeping people who are not U.S. citizens voting in U.S. elections is a play by the Democratic Party.
So you are in D.C. part of something that's really important to us, and that is the anti-Sharia caucus. And you are all about anti-Sharia bills. Can you talk to us about that for a minute?
Yeah, and even when I was in the state legislature in 2012, I said, we've got to stop Sharia law in America. We need to start in Alabama. And we started working that process. But as you watch what's going on in Europe, and London has fallen, Paris has fallen, and I'm told you can't get 30-year money in those cities now because they don't think they're going to be around. And so what happens, you got 57 Muslim countries. Those folks, though, are not coming here to assimilate. That Sharia is a law that does not align with the Constitution of the United States of America. And so it's a spiritual battle for the future of the country, guys. And that is the line.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. We have gotten our lives together. You'll be happy to know. And we are joined and thrilled to be joined by our first great Scott of the day, Alabama GOP Chairman Scott Stadthagen. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I am good. How are y'all doing?
Well, we're good, but we have questions.
Let's go. What you got?
All right. Now, the first question is very, very serious. And I know we have to get to what's going on with this residency hearing situation.
Yes.
But we've seen several pictures of you with a styrofoam cup in your hand. Is it Coke or Diet Coke?
Wait, can we all take a guess? Like before he says, like what's in the cup? Is it always styrofoam? Never like a red Solo cup?
Yeah.
No, I've
Okay.
only styrofoam.
So in the majority leader's office, right there in the front by the chief of staff, we have drinks for the members, and there's always styrofoam cups there. And I literally before session, I always grab a Coke, like regular Coke, and then a styrofoam cup with ice, and that's what it is.
It's a regular
Cup with
Just
ice.
regular-
It's just Coke.
Just Coke, no lime.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's ice, no room temperature. You don't have a mug. So that's just
correct.
special for us that you get really high maintenance. I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Fine.
I was going with like RC Cola or Grapey
Do they even make
Co.
those anymore?
They do.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
gonna say sweet tea.
Oh,
that's
that
fair.
was good.
That's fair.
Well, sometimes we have
That's good.
tea left over from caucus on Wednesday, and we'll have tea, and I'll have tea on Thursday.
Well, that's a good day.
Okay, well, that's
We're
your
such
photo that's up
twins.
officially. You in a styrofoam cup.
Well, it just looks like the coach, the one guiding everybody through the situation.
He looks like he's standing there like judging everybody.
Yeah, because
Uh-oh.
he is.
Yeah, but in a
We're
funny
in
way.
session, guys. That's it's business on the house floor.
Yeah, it is.
How long does it take you to recover from session? Like, does it take you a week to finally like the blood pressure go down, especially this session? Or
Yeah,
as soon as
it's
you
about
walk
a
out
week.
of Montgomery, are you like, okay, I'm better now?
Yeah, it takes about, well, you immediately feel better when you hear Sonny die. And it's just like, kind of exhaling a little bit. You get in your vehicle, you feel, you're going home to your family, and you don't have to, you get to spend a whole solid week with them the next week. And honestly, about 2 weeks after session, you automatically start missing your colleagues. It's really
Mhm.
weird.
Even the ones you don't like?
I wouldn't go that far, but you definitely you miss your companions, your colleagues that you do like, and that because we all have friends and kind of friend groups, and you just miss being around your guys, or ladies, and so after about 2 weeks, you actually miss being down there again. It's really weird.
But that makes sense because y'all do spend a ton of time together. Truly.
Yes. Yeah, we do. And then, we have conferences throughout the summer where we all kind of, gather together again and all that good stuff.
I'm guessing it's kind of like I always use the example of, well, I mean, I guess it's 2026, but you wouldn't know what this is like. But childbirth, you're like, I am never doing that again.
Mhm.
That was miserable.
Yes.
I'm never, ever doing that. And then like a few months later, you're like, I don't know. That wasn't so bad.
Yes.
Maybe we can have another one.
Exactly.
That's what y'all
Exactly.
do.
Yes, I
Montgomery.
cannot relate to that for sure. I definitely cannot relate to that one.
But it's kind of the same thing. You're like, ugh, it's
Kind of the same
miserable,
thing,
but
yes.
we're gonna do it again.
Same, but different.
So what have you been
Yes.
doing? You've been going
Ooh.
all 67 counties, visiting every GOP. I'm curious, does every county have a different feel? And is
They
that good or
do.
bad?
Yeah, it's different personalities, right? Different communities, different personalities. And so yesterday we started off in Chilton County for lunch. Really good. Robin had a really good event with the Women's Republicans. And then after that, just to give you kind of an idea of what my normal day would look like. And then after that, I was in Lowndes County. Rick Pate is the chairman of the Lowndes County. And he put together a group where do y'all think I met Rick Pate at? If y'all had a picture anywhere we had a meeting, where would you think it would be at?
In a field,
Yeah. Like on top
Very
of
close.
a hay bale or a Waffle House?
in a barn.
Or
So close, stockyard. We met at the largest stockyard in the state of Alabama. And literally in the middle of my speech, I had cows mooing in the background. It was awesome. It was so Rick Pate, it wasn't even funny.
So what does that mean if it's the largest stockyard in Alabama? Does that mean by size, or does it mean like by how many cattle are already there? Like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, so it's both.
Okay.
It's size and volume of cattle that goes through
Okay.
that stockyard. And I mean, they had literally had a catwalk going over the back that we walked on, and I can't even tell you how many stalls they had. I mean, it was huge. They could have, I mean, there's no telling how much cattle they can put back there. And Rick kind of went through the process of, how the auctioneer gets up there. And of course, I had fun and pretend I was an auctioneer and all that good stuff. But and I'm a terrible auctioneer, by the way. I would never be a good one. But it was just cool to see that.
You're too southern.
Oh, yeah. They were, I mean, yeah, they're really quick. But I mean, it was just cool to see that experience. And I told Rick, I was like, man, this literally, when I imagine like speaking to your group, this is like literally what I thought we'd be doing.
Wait,
That's
so
awesome.
they meet at the stockyard?
I don't think they meet there. I think he just did a special meeting for me. So what we're trying to do,
so sweet.
we're trying to, of course, my goal is to hit every 67 county before the end of the year. I'm going to do that every year. And I think it's good for them to see the party chairman. But yeah, so we were Chilton County, and then at that last night we're at Conecuh County. So we had that big time frame in between. And we scheduled a meeting with Lowndes County in between, and Rick put us at the stockyard. It was great. And then of course we went to, the only disappointing thing is when we went to Conecuh County's meeting, we wanted to swing by the Conecuh store off the interstate, and get a hot dog or something. But we showed up at 5:05 and they closed at 5. So that was the only disappointing thing today.
I'm disappointed for you.
I've never been there.
Really?
We do our tour of Alabama.
We're
that
going
needs
there.
to be on the list.
We maybe need to.
Absolutely.
Boy, that'll be a tasty place to go.
Well, Tasty was Conecuh County. They had homemade pulled pork. Like that was one of the best meals, and it was the most rural place. And in my mind, I'm thinking, we're probably gonna grab a pizza on the way home. I'm telling you what, it was the best meal I have had in a long time.
Ooh.
I mean, it was surprisingly good. Had pulled pork sandwiches with baked beans with bacon and hamburger in it.
Oh my word.
Homemade coleslaw. It was they did a really good job last night.
Okay, Shelby County, we don't do food.
We need to do food.
What?
Y'all have a lot of people too, but y'all definitely need to do food.
Wait, we don't. We like come in our suits and ties and we sit down
People
and we do.
would really turn out, especially if you had baked beans with ground beef in it.
Oh, I know.
And some pulled
That's
pork.
a game changer.
That's like, I'm going there just for good dinner. And oh, by the way, I'll stick around for the meeting.
Yeah.
We got to change
Right.
things.
All right.
Even though I'm just against now.
Like sitting down, breaking bread with people. I mean, it's so much better.
Agree.
Yeah.
100%. The older I get, the more I appreciate the truth of that statement. Something
Oh,
happens
absolutely.
around the table. It does.
Well, I mean, think about, Jesus's Last Supper, sitting down and broke bread.
Kind of a big night.
Yeah,
Kind of a big night.
Kind of a big night.
So, we're professionals. And so we're going to pivot into kind of a big deal.
Yes.
Kind of a big change. I don't even know if this is a change, but could you talk to us about what's happening with the residency hearing and what this means?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to be cautious on some of the stuff I tell, but I will tell you as much as I can. So a candidate can challenge or contest someone's certification of them being the nominee, Republican nominee, right? Mick Feeders has done that. And he, surprisingly enough, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, and he did it just the way it should be. So from that, as immediately after we get that, then we have to meet as a steering committee. We have to set a date. And then from there, we proceed with a hearing. And it literally is just kind of like a courtroom. It's a mock courtroom. And I will be presiding over it, and the steering committee is like the jurors. And we will be doing that pretty soon.
So how is this different than the first go around?
Yeah, so the first go around, which I wasn't chair at that particular time, but the first go around was, McFeeters challenged his ballot access. When you challenge somebody's ballot access, there's two parts to that. One part is they stand before the steering committee and they basically give them evidence. And if the steering committee sees fit, then they go forward with the hearing. In McFeeters' case, and keep in mind, I was not there, but he did not present enough evidence to the steering committee that they felt comfortable moving forward and so forth. That it stopped right there with that ballot challenge. As you know, some other ones did not. They presented enough evidence and it went forward to the hearing. But with Coach's situation, he did not present any evidence, from my understandings, to the steering committee. And that's why it was thrown out. And, this one we'll see. He'll have to present evidence to the steering committee and to me in our mock courtroom, and we will go from there. I think Coach's team is, from my understandings, they're looking forward to, getting this over with and excited about, moving forward and Coach being the next governor of our state. So I think it's just something that, it's a process that we have to do if somebody files, and that's what we're doing.
How long does it take once you guys are all in there and you're receiving the information? Does a decision happen quickly? Will it take a week?
Will.
Okay.
No, it will be that day. We will listen to both sides. We will, hear both sides, and then we will deliberate, and then afterwards the steering committee will have a vote, and that will be it. It'll be probably, I'd say, 3-4 hours if I had to guess.
So the information that Ken McFeeters brought to the steering committee now, as he is the nominee, you're saying when they come to the steering committee this time and he presented his evidence, it wasn't, and I could be wrong, it wasn't really evidence. It was just he checked the boxes that forced the steering committee to say, okay, we have to take this to a hearing. Or is there a deliberation process on the first vote to say, okay, the first vote when you weren't there, they said there's not enough evidence to move forward. Are you still looking at, quote, evidence this go around, or are you just checking boxes to say, okay, now we go to the next step to look at the evidence? Does that make sense?
Correct. Yeah, it's very confusing. I know. No, there is no. So it is straight going to a hearing now, and it will be like a court, and they will present evidence on both sides. And then, but yes, there's that process of presenting what you've got and then seeing if it, proceeds forward.
Okay.
That's out of the way. It's different with a ballot challenge versus this. This is, he checked the boxes. He did what he needed to do to produce the challenge of his certification of nominee. And we are going straight to a hearing, and it will, it will be done that day. We will, as chair, I believe in transparency. I believe in everyone knowing what's taking place. There's not going to be any room for, they're backdoor doing all this. No, we will be upfront, honest, and transparent with the citizens of Alabama. And I will literally, right after this hearing, go straight to you guys and say, look, these are the facts. This was the decision, and we are moving forward. And there's no backroom deals. There's none of that. This is transparency. We're going to be up and everybody's going to know what's going on. And there's no backroom deals. I promise you that. This is, we're respecting the challenge because it is a valid challenge, and we're going to proceed forward as we should.
Will there be anybody in the room that is not involved in the process, like an outside observer?
We're still, of course, this is my first rodeo at this, so we're still figuring all that out.
Yeah, I have no clue what the rules are. I've tried to read the bylaws before, but it's really boring.
It is kind of, yeah. Okay, and you, when you say done on this day when the hearing is done, this is done. It can't come up again.
As far as the party's concerned, it is done, as you said. Yes, it is done as far as the party's concerned. There's no more challenges. that any candidate can do to another candidate or nominee. This is it.
So nobody can appeal and be like, it was an unfair trial.
Mhm. Yeah, this is
No.
not double jeopardy.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay.
But I think it could go to court. Like,
Well, so
court.
technically it cannot go to court.
Oh,
Technically Judy would be a joint committee that would then turn into a courtroom, just like the Bentley case. But I don't see. I think this is it.
Okay.
I think personally, this is. I mean, he's going to get his due process. He's going to present the evidence. The steering committee is going to weigh the evidence, and I think, as far as the party's concerned, this is it. We're done.
Okay.
I have one more question, maybe two.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say by some weird, and let's just take Tommy Tuberville and his case out of it. Just in general, say we got to this point, there was a hearing, and they were found guilty by the judge, which is you or whoever. Then what would happen? Like, can you substitute? This is what I didn't know. Like, if you have to take that candidate off the ballot, can the steering committee nominate someone else to go in and represent that spot? Or is it like Ken McFeeters is your Republican nominee?
No. So the steering committee at that point, the steering committee would replace that nominee.
Okay, because ballots haven't been printed, like nothing. So so the steering
ballots
committee
are printed August 26th. So yes,
wow.
The steering committee would pick the next nominee, and it does not have to be McFeeters. It could be Allison St. Clair. It could be anyone.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, that was I'm glad you asked that, because that was Chris's question is, well, what happens now? Are they going to appoint somebody who would run in their place? That's very helpful.
But
correct.
It's just that small group of people. It's not the state executive committee. It is the steering committee of the
It's
state.
the steering committee.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
All right, then.
We're in crazy times. I mean, I've, becoming party chair, it's really baptism by fire. And I'm seeing all this stuff that, that could go wrong that you have to face as a chair. And I actually, I'm not enjoying it, but I like challenges and I like seeing some of the worst things that could go wrong. So once we get past this and I get this experience under my belt, then, moving forward, we're good.
That's a glass half full attitude right there. I like seeing the worst things that could go wrong and solving them.
It's
not, I'm stuck in the middle of the worst things that could go wrong. I mean, you really walked in at a very tense time and it hasn't slowed down at all.
Correct.
Last question from me. So I won my race, even with my name spelled wrong on the ballot, which I think is a huge,
Allison.
I mean, yeah.
That was before I was there, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just told everybody on my Facebook post, like, even if you voted for Allison Sinclair with one L, I promise I'll do you right. But okay, so when do I get to go through initiation? Do I drink Kool-Aid? Like, what do you have to do? Do you have to sign a ledger? Like, when do I get to be part of the club?
You drink Coke with lime, not Kool-Aid, by the way.
Room temperature.
2 limes.
Yeah,
2 limes. Yeah, definitely 2 limes.
In a month.
That would be after the November election. But yeah, so your first hoorah would be the winter dinner. Right after that.
Oh, cool. So I'm out of the mess.
Yeah, you're like in the clear, and then you get to go to the winter dinner, and then the next day you have meetings all day long.
Yeah.
And you get to be with people, which is your favorite thing. So it's tailor-made for you.
No, but this is great because all the people there now have to handle all this, and then I get to come in for the party.
So you just walk right in.
All right.
Free and clear.
You just walk right in.
Yeah.
And so it'll be an exciting time at that point because all of our Republicans will be elected at that time. And we will, it'll be a happy time moving forward with our state and looking forward to, of course, the summer dinner. I want to encourage everyone to come July 31st at the Renaissance Hotel in Montgomery. We're going to have a really huge event, the best one ever. And I'm going to say, you just pretend I said that in Donald Trump's voice.
What?
It's going to be good.
Wait.
Do we know it's going to be the best one ever? Are you telling us who the speaker is?
I am not. No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
I wish.
Oh,
Okay.
I was
I
like,
wish
We
it
were
was
just
trouble.
asking,
you
we
heard it
just,
first.
sometimes
No, I was saying as a funny in his voice, the best one ever.
The best
JP
one
can do it in
ever.
his voice. JP, do it in his voice.
It's gonna be the best one ever.
Yes, right there. Thank you.
That's
yes,
it.
absolutely.
That's
And I
it.
think it's very important. And as I'm touring around the state, letting people know how important it is to get out and vote. And the Republicans, they did not show up May 19th, and they have got to get out and vote. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. We're getting complacent, we're getting comfortable, and guess what happens when you get that way? So we need to get out. We lose, and then you get upset because your representation doesn't represent you, and it's because you stayed at home and you chose not to vote. And that's so important for us to get people out, vote. If it's a lot of people died for that right. And I mean, that's something that I've always done with my daughter. We look forward to it. She rides with me to the polls. I always check her in school if need be, but she's going to be there. She's going to know the importance of getting out and supporting candidates that, make our government good.
I don't know if you've seen, and you just reminded me because I want to talk about it on the show. Yellowhammer did an article. I don't know if Grayson wrote it. Grayson, if you're listening, send it to us and the chairman, because they did an analysis of history between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and how many more. It is staggering and alarming how many more Democrats voted. Like, Republicans are down 26% in voting. Democrats are up 148%. Like, it is terrifying. And it's exactly what you're talking about. It will not take many more elections for them to outpace us if voter apathy stays where it is. So it's so important. I think it would be good for you to see those numbers as you travel.
I've already seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
I've seen, I haven't seen his numbers. I've seen our numbers, but the thing we have to remember is in 2010, the Democrats did not see that coming. They felt comfortable. They were complacent. And my job is to put a doorstop at that door to make sure that door does not swing the other way. So that's what I'm working on. And we're going to make a huge push in the general to make sure that we are getting out and voting. And by that time, every Republican in the state of Alabama will know the importance of casting their vote.
That's great.
Good.
That's really good.
Chairman, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah,
take a
thank you,
nap.
guys.
I know you had a long day yesterday. You don't seem like a napper though, so
I
don't
don't
know.
take naps.
Go drink a
Nope.
Coke and make it
Yeah.
through. That's what
I
you
think I
do.
got some
Push
limes
on.
in the kitchen.
There you go. Go get your limes.
Oh,
Thanks
man.
for being with us
Yeah,
today,
thank
and
you.
keep us
Yes.
posted. Good luck
Thank you,
with all of
guys.
this.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you later.
Talk
Okay.
soon.
All right. Bye.
Okay, so we're gonna take a break. Is it about
We got about 45 seconds.
45 seconds?
So on the other side, we have Scott number 2. Great Scott.
Not
With
that
Scott
number 2 is
Buttram.
last.
No,
He's just second in the
they're
order.
they're
Yeah.
just,
second Scott
everybody
of the day.
matters. All right. But we're excited about that conversation, excited about the allegedly, and maybe even a montage. Like, who knows with all the stuff we've got to do in the second hour. But we're very grateful for the chairman to join us and talk shop, but also just find out what he's been up to. That was great. What?
I can't believe you guessed it, by the way, that he drinks Coke in his cup. I was almost certain it'd be sweet tea.
Yeah.
Seems like a sweet tea kind of guy.
I mean, I had a high school guidance counselor, and she always had a cup, and it was Diet Coke. And it just makes me remember she was one of my favorite people. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's a flashback with the styrofoam cup everywhere.
He did get really excited about tea day though.
He did. Thursdays, I get tea.
He was like, no, but let me tell you about Thursdays.
Okay. We'll be back.
And there's no way you have Islam and trans on the same side of an issue unless it's a spiritual battle. And so we have got to stop Sharia. It's getting its toeholds in different parts in the country. And we see it in Texas right now. Greg Abbott is battling it. We've seen it in New York. We see it in Minneapolis, where these people come. They're not here to assimilate. They're not here to embrace our culture, our traditions, our religion. They're here to come in. It's an invasion to change the very fabric of our nation. And so I was one of the first people. Keith Self, a member from Texas, he's in House Freedom Caucus with me, former Green Beret. He's been around the world. He's seen this stuff. And that is a huge concern. And so he founded the Sharia-Free Caucus. And I was one of the first guys in the country to get on that with him, because I see that as the future battle line. And we're not looking that far down the horizon. That is going to be an issue that's going to be a problem for this nation if we don't address it now and we don't wake up to what it is.
Yeah, that's, I think, takes a lot of courage. I know a lot of members of Congress were hesitant because they don't want to be seen as mean or unkind or unwelcoming. And it's like, no, at some point you have to draw a line in the sand of what is compatible and what isn't. So hats off to you for that. And I feel like more members are joining by the day, which is encouraging and really good to see. I'm curious, you are one of the few that I saw come out to ask for and say, hey, we need to do a 7-0 map. I do not know why this message was not coming out of Montgomery, but here we are. We may be stuck with 5-2. I'm curious your thoughts on where we end up and what we need to do from here. You used to be in the Alabama legislature. What do you think happens?
Yeah, so I'm one of the members of Congress, probably one of the few in the nation, that my congressional district in 3 terms has been redrawn twice. I was a victim of that system where a holder sued. It's funny, they sued all the red states, but none of the blue states. And so the thing that we have to understand is Alabama is going to be put in a position to wherever Illinois, New York, California, Virginia dictate policies to us through the federal government because they redrew districts to take power. These congressional districts are a huge part of the battle. And so it's important. I mean, up the Northeast coast, you got 9 states that Trump had 36 to 48% of the vote in. They have 0 congressional members. So the Democrats are way ahead of us on this. They've been doing it they're winning the battle on redistricting. So it's vitally important that Ruby Red Alabama stays in the fight to get 7-0. Not because they maybe feel good about that or whatever that looks like, guys. But I'm telling you, we are going to be the victims of our own demise if we don't step up and fix this. And so in Virginia, I saw it a few weeks ago. Thank goodness their court threw it out. We literally have 6 Democrats and 5 Republicans currently in the Congress from Virginia. They drew a 10-1 map, 10 Dems, 1 Republican, and they're going to stand on the gas, and we just have to fight these lawsuits. We can't be intimidated. We can't worry about what they call us. It's vitally important for our children and grandchildren that we have a say in the fight, and we do what we can to do our part.
Do you have an opinion as to why there's been such pushback for us to even think of having a 6-1 map, let alone a 7-0?
My gut is that we have a lot of Democrats that have changed parties over the year in Alabama. And they're not the true conservative populist people, the president, make America first, make America great narrative. They're more about going along the old guard, business as usual. And this is a time in the nation, the 250th anniversary. We have a chance, and the Declaration of Independence said you have opportunities to remake your government. And I think often we're looking at Donald Trump as probably the greatest president of my lifetime, for sure in my lifetime. 250th anniversary of this nation, and we have an opportunity to fix what's wrong with this country, but we cannot rest on our laurels, and we can't trust the old guard to do it. We've got to charge ahead.
I do think that's such a good point, kind of with where we are in America. Like, the rules of the game have changed, and I say all the time that the left kind of broke that social compact of like, we play fair. And so when that happens, you have to be willing to put yourself out there and do the hard things and play to win, whatever that may be, Sharia law, redistricting. I totally agree with you on that one. So real quickly, one thing that came up online from a listener, they were asking your stance on term limits. And I know you've spoken about that before, but what are your thoughts on term limits in Congress? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I signed the term limits pledge every year, and I literally served 2 terms in the state legislature and walked away from government. And, I did my 2 terms, went back to my business, and then the president's team asked us to run for Congress. And so I've been in D.C. 5.5 years, the same amount of time that Donald Trump has been there. We're there the exact same amount of time. And so I walked away from 2 guaranteed reelects. So, guys, I could have ran for 1st Congressional District and stayed there for a long time. But when the president asked us to step up, so I am well within compliance. I think if the term limits bill that we pass right now is going to be 3 terms in Congress and 2 in the U.S. Senate. And so I'm finishing up my 3rd term in Congress, and I walked away from that. And so, but I do say this for your listeners is, we need to put a limit on how long lobbyists can operate too. There needs to be a limit on contract lobbyists, because what happens if you totally transform and take out all the members of Congress and the Senate and the lobbyists stick around, then they're going to lead them around by the nose. And we're not going to get good policy for the American people. But absolutely, I think that term limits are a good thing. And these 2 people didn't stay up there forever. And I don't understand why anybody would. Honestly, it's a call and you go in and you do the fight. But, my favorite day is, like Coach said, my favorite day is flying home to Alabama of the week, and the worst day of the week is flying to DC. But there are times in our life that we have to be willing to step up. And when the president asks you to step up and help him in the Senate, I'll do a couple of terms in the fight, but I'll stay well within the term limits pledge.
I say I have a proposal, and I just thought about this. If we add lobbyists, we should add all the staffers too, because my word.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
folks.
I think that would work.
So
yeah.
Welcome back to the Right Side. I am Amy Beth with Allison and JP. And you guys, we're happy to be joined for the first time we have it now. He's been on with Phil Williams in the past, but we're so excited that Scott Buttram is coming on with us today. Scott, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, ladies. How are y'all doing?
We're good. We're really good. You are the U.S. Secretary of Common Sense, obviously.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
my wife would debate that.
I appreciate the honesty. It's really nice. I can't believe I've never met you in person. You're like this figure that lives out there on the Twitters. And I've watched you for years.
That's a good point. And I feel the same way about the 2 of you. I think our orbits have been very close for a long, long time. But for whatever reason, we've never met.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where, I don't even know where you're from.
Sure.
And kind of how you are associated with the Trustful Tribune and politics. How did you get there?
Oh gosh, well, it's kind of 2 different stories. I purchased the Tribune about 18 years ago against the wishes of my wife, who now says it's the one thing she was mistaken about.
Just one.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That wraps it up. So I've been the publisher here for 18 years. How have I been involved with politics? Well, let me start with how I fell in love with politics. I was 12 years old, and my uncle ran for mayor of Vestavia. I spent the summer with my grandparents in Vestavia just so I could go to his campaign trailer every single day, and I was addicted. He was elected the 3rd mayor, and gave his nephew an addiction for the rest of his life. Then, of course, involved with school politics, SGA president, all that kind of stuff coming up. And I think the first time I got involved at the adult level was working for the Charlie Graddick campaign in '86 versus Bill Baxley. And from there, I worked in a couple of more campaigns following that, and then just kind of got out of politics until I became a loudmouth on social media about politics. And that's really kind of the cycle. The whole publishing thing is similar. The reason I was involved with the Graddick campaign was because his campaign manager was Pettis Randall, who owned Randall Publishing in Tuscaloosa. And I was working for Randall Publishing at the time. And when I left there, that's been almost 40 years ago now. When I left, I didn't think I'd be back in publishing or in politics. Yet here I am, sticking my nose in both of them.
It was just fantastic.
I like it.
That's fascinating.
I love. So did you grow up in Tuscaloosa or?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Lived there until I was 41, married way over my head, and she was living in the Trussville area. And I'll just tell you, I would have knee walked up here if that's what it took.
Oh, so sweet.
So and that was supposed to be temporary. After about 6 months, I'm like, I kind of love this place. Do you really want to move back to Tuscaloosa? So we didn't.
Wow.
And we've now been here 25 years.
So, what's changed before we get to politics? I'm fascinated by your ownership of the Tribune. What's changed the most over the last 18 years in the news business?
First of all, just the fact that you use those words.
Hmm.
When I bought the Tribune, and I said to my wife, I'd been out of publishing for 20 years, and I said to my wife, how much could it have changed?
Mm.
Those exact words, everything has changed. And I think, and I will say, when I was at Randall, I was dealing with more industry type publications. I was the associate publisher of a publication they had called Aviation USA, and it also worked on a publication in the trucking industry. But I was always a close follower of the media, like probably y'all were. You know, we always grew up with the newspaper, the local newspaper, having great value. I literally, even as a younger kid, 12, 13 years old, could not wait for that newspaper to land in the yard every day. And of course, I'd go straight to the sports section, go to the box scores, check on all my teams. But pretty quickly, I was reading the whole paper as well, just realizing there's a lot of stuff here. I think that the media that you and I grew up with for most of our lives, into our adult lives, was really just honest people trying to report the facts and give an unbiased view of what was going on, whether that was your local city hall or Montgomery or Washington, D.C. I really think journalists in that era held themselves accountable and really wanted to be the person who delivered the facts, not their opinion. I don't know when it shifted. I would say, if I had to put my finger on it, I would say probably a little bit during the Clinton administration. And for a lot of this viciousness we see in politics today, I've always said James Carville was responsible for a lot of that. That was the first Politico that was just publicly vicious to other people. And that viciousness, as we all know now, gave birth to Rush Limbaugh, who could not only give it back to Carville in spades, he was considerably smarter than Carville and could embarrass him anytime he wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think that's when we started seeing this everybody go to their corner mentality that we have now.
It's so interesting as you're talking. I grew up in a family. We were an NBC News family.
We were too.
And
Yeah.
I mean, like,
as were we.
Well, and I don't know why we chose that, but like, I didn't know if Tom Brokaw was a Republican or Democrat. It didn't matter. You know, we just watched the news and we, you know, at that point it was like graphs and data and it was pretty boring, but it was the news.
And you watched for the fleecing of America at the end of the show, because again, you trusted him because you're right. It was just the news.
It was
That's right.
Just the facts. You know, I do look back and wonder if there was a little bit of propaganda and a little bit of an agenda, but we didn't notice it and you didn't even think about it. And now it's like you can't listen to anyone, whether it's on Twitter or NBC, ABC, whatever, and go, wait a second, I don't know if they're a Republican or Democrat. I'm not sure I should be listening to this, which I think is not healthy.
Such valid points. I mean, that is exactly the way I see it, the way I feel about it. And of course, Tom Brokaw may today be considered one of the most partisan people in still out of there in media. But in his prime, I didn't know where he stood. And you know, I'm old enough to remember Walter Cronkite. I remember my vision of Walter Cronkite is, and I wasn't old enough to remember this in real time, but we've all seen the clip of him putting on the glasses as he announces the death of John Kennedy. And we've all seen that clip. And that's how I see Walter Cronkite. You know, every member of the media knew what they knew from phone calls, from correspondence, but nobody said anything on the record until they had official confirmation.
Yes.
And that's the way media operated in those days. And we try, I will say this, the Tribune has had some success over the last 10 years. I think one of the reasons is because we've kind of gone old school. We have opinions, but we keep them on the opinion page. When we report news, we try to stick with the facts, and we try to stick with the established facts, not the facts we would like to bring to bear, if that makes any sense. And if we have opinions, we think there's a place for that in media. And it's on the editorial page under the heading of opinion.
That's right.
And we just see too much of that blended in news reporting today. In fact, ladies, I would go as far to say, if you're working your way up in national media, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, your partisanship is probably going to play a big part in how you're elevated through the company. And not in a positive way, in such a way that the more partisan you are, the further you will likely go in some of these networks.
It's so true. And I'm
And it's
thinking,
terrible.
yeah, it's terrible. And I'm thinking that the James Carville situation actually dovetails not just into the separation from go to your own corners, but James Carville and others after him are used to divide us.
Yes.
And then divide us so that they can destroy us. And then we, in the end, destroy each other. And that's also what I see happening in this election cycle. I think that, yes, historically, it's been nasty. You can look back to the time of Rome. You can look back to our country's founding. You can look to Andrew Jackson. Apparently, his campaign was vicious.
Yes.
But we've noticed this time, it seems like it's vicious with a side of hot sauce. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I saw y'all's tweet yesterday, and I was delighted to see it because, as I said, somebody needs to say it. And that is exactly what's going on. And what makes it even worse is that it's Republican on Republican crime, right? Because we're in primary season. And, you know, there was a time that it was not so vicious during the primaries because y'all had to live together afterwards. But we're seeing this, and it's going to get worse, ladies, because we are back to being a one-party state. I grew up, we were a one-party Democrat state for most of my life till I was 50 years old. So now it's the other side, and it's going to continue to get worse, especially if it works. And I've seen some of the same stuff you've seen. I will say this. I've also noticed the reaction of voters to this super negative campaigning and the ads we're seeing. And I know they're coming from PACs, but we know every single candidate knows what the PAC is doing on their behalf. And they can stop it or they can aim in it. And they're letting it go. And that is being noticed by the voters. And I'm seeing more and more voters respond to those ads, not in the intended way. They're going the other direction. And I said, you know, when the first primary started, I said, look, the three leaders, Marshall, Moore, and Jared Hudson, the three of those guys, any of the three are going to provide the Republican Party with a reliable vote in the U.S. Senate. That's got to be first and foremost. After 2 years of Doug Jones and the damage he did in 2 years, we got to have a reliable vote on the Republican side representing Alabama in the Senate. I felt that way then. I feel that way now. But what has started to turn during the runoff period, I don't think it's playing the way it was intended to play. In fact, I've been getting messages on Twitter this morning from people saying, no, I'm going the opposite direction from the negative ads because they're not true. And if a candidate's going to let that stuff go out in his name, knowing it's not true, I'm not voting for it.
So how do you thread the needle? And this is something I can't remember if it was in the tweet. I think it was where we were talking about, yes, there are policy positions and there are, you know, even somebody's history, some of the things that have happened in their personal lives.
Sure,
I mean, it does matter. But how do you thread that needle between, you know, what's your opinion in that of how you get information out? Because how somebody runs their personal life kind of reflects maybe how they'll run their political life.
It does.
Not always, but generally. So how do you do that? Is there a responsible way, or should any of that personal stuff just be off limits?
I don't think it's necessarily off limits, but I think some things should be off limits. I mean, even the mafia says don't touch the kids and the family.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they've got higher standards than some of our politicians today. But I think you kind of answered your own question. It needs to be on policy. We need to know where they stand and how they are going to react to any particular policy when they get to DC. We don't need surprises. And remember, one of the ways Doug Jones beat Moore, yeah, Roy Moore. I'm confusing my Moores there for a minute.
Yeah, I had to think I was like Tommy
questioning-
Tuberville. Like I was trying to help you out, and I wasn't getting anywhere either.
I was questioning myself. But one of the ways he did it, of course, there was the smear campaign that was executed by the Washington Post. And I think that's what we ought to be talking about on our next segment, ladies. Which national media outlet's going to come after Tuberville when this is all down to a general election? Because somebody's going to come.
Yeah.
But the other way that worked is Doug Jones ran the state of Alabama from border to border, swearing he was going to be that Howell Heflin moderate, and that he was an Alabama person and he would vote on policy. And he did for almost one full week after taking office. And it was out the window then. And in fact, if you look at his voting record on his last month in office, he was trying to make Alabamians pay the price for voting him out.
Wow.
I mean, there's so much there. And yes, next time we are going to have to talk about the national media publications and what's going to happen with all of that.
You know it's coming.
You're right. It is coming. So let me ask you quickly, because we talked to Scott Stadthagen a few minutes ago. What do you think is going to happen with this latest challenge that's coming before the GOP steering committee? Is there anything to this?
I actually missed that segment, and I'd already intended to go back and see it. I'm very anxious to see what changes we have with the Alabama GOP under Scott's leadership. I expect it to be considerably better than it has been in the past. I don't know what he said about that, and so I want to hear how he responded to that question as well. I did read the story this morning about the latest challenge. I don't know what to expect, so I'm going to kind of turn it and ask you, what did Scott say?
Well,
I mean, it sounds like that from what he is hearing, and you hope that this needs to be laid to rest. And I think that's what Amy Beth finally got to. Like, are we going to be done when this is done? And Scott said, yeah, we'll be done. So I hope that they do look at all the evidence and actually do an investigation. It sounds like from Tuberville's side, he's not really worried about it. I've got everything I need. And just because the Dems and everybody starts coming at me doesn't mean I have to turn it over. And so I think this is kind of a formality here. We went into like what happens if with any candidate, if you get to this point and you have to remove them from the ballot, and how, somebody to replace them would be selected. I think you should go back and listen it, because it's kind of confusing. But lots of good information. And it sounds like they're going to do what they're supposed to do as a steering committee and come to a conclusion based on evidence. So we'll see. Real quickly before we go, I haven't followed along on Twitter. Have you made any predictions for June 16th? Do you think we're going to have some surprises?
I've not really made any predictions. I did tell, I think it was the day after the primary, or maybe 2 days after the primary, I was on Jeff Poor show, and of course this subject came up. The only observation I made was that I did think in a runoff scenario, Jared Hudson could be more problematic for Barry Moore than Marshall would have been. And that's kind of a gut thing, because you've got a true newcomer there, and there's a lot of lean into outsiders right now, right? So I felt like Marshall would be a little bit easier for Barry Moore. I do feel like Barry Moore's in pretty solid shape, though y'all probably saw the poll that was in Alabama Daily News this morning that shows Jared with a pretty good lead. And just in full candor, We've had Jared on Tribune Unscripted here in Trussville at least once, maybe twice. So we know him a little bit. I think he, as just reading tea leaves, he may be becoming more and more of a problem for Barry Moore almost on a daily basis. And I think we're now back to our original subject of the negative campaigning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
think it's actually helping Jared.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great psychology experiment here. And Alabama, I feel like, is always kind of weird. Like we're weird with Trump endorsements. We're weird with what we like and what we don't. And so everybody just buckle up is kind of what I'm saying, because I think we're gonna have some surprises.
I'm in the rumble seat with you. I think you're exactly right on that.
The rumble seat. That might need to be a segment or something.
I think you just invented it right now.
Maybe we
in the
do
rumble
a
seat with Scott Buttram.
That's the great thing about radio.
like
You
it.
can literally make it up as you go along.
That's what we do every day.
Yeah. and listen, your listeners will tell you when I filled in for Phil, that's exactly what was going on.
Well, it was so great to kind of meet you. Thank you so much for coming on, and stay in touch. We'll reach out and we'll follow along on Twitter.
Well, thank you very much. And before I get away, let me just say, y'all are doing a great job. I think the personalities are perfect for this, and I have thoroughly enjoyed your show.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's the Secretary of Common Sense. He wouldn't say that if he didn't mean
He
it.
wouldn't. And he's in the rumble
would
seat
not.
with us. So, I mean, what more
That's
do
it.
we need? We'll just
That's
say
it.
that we'll talk to you again real soon.
Keep up the great work, ladies.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Well, he's great.
He knows how to do an interview.
Yeah, he does. It's like he's a professional.
It's like he's been in the business
A while.
It was really good. Always, and he seems to be like, what I appreciate about him is basically what he said. He is like, and I hope we kind of strive to be that. We're like equal opportunity offenders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really care
fair.
who you are. If you're doing right, okay, great. And we'll give you attaboys. And if you're doing wrong, we'll call you out, even if you're our bestie.
Right.
But we're still friends. You know,
it's, and Allison, I think we've said it for years also, is we really strive to attack the principle and not the people.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's easy to say, it's hard to do, because sometimes people become what they've done. Like James Carville. He's a vicious dude.
Yep.
But most of the time, we really do want to just talk about principles and not people. So it's very fun to have a good conversation with Scott, the U.S. Secretary of Common Sense. Oh, and also the owner of the Trussville Tribune. So, JP, we have 3 minutes or 2 minutes and a half.
I pushed it a little bit. I think we finished with montage.
Okay, that'd be great.
Now,
Get into montage to start the first part of the next segment, and then finish with allegedly.
Okay.
oh,
So montage,
Allegedly.
break,
Allegedly.
and then
Gosh.
montage allegedly.
don't put more mascara on
Okay.
before allegedly.
Love it.
All right, montage.
Black for News.
The president even called Netanyahu today, asking him to stand down in Lebanon. Trump kind of lit him up. According to Axios, he told him, quote, "What the F are you doing? You're effing crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this."
The fight over whether Tommy Tuberville is eligible to run in Alabama's race for governor has now headed to a final hearing. GOP candidate for governor Kid McPheeters requested the state GOP look into Tuberville's residency earlier this year. McPheeters questions whether Tuberville has been a continuous resident of Alabama for the last 7 years, as required by the state constitution. The state GOP will have a final hearing on the issue on Sunday, June 14th.
Today's arrests represent the largest autism fraud bust in American history. This was not a paperwork error. It was not a technical violation. This was organized threat, organized theft that exploited the most vulnerable children in America.
The individuals that came in from Portland, not from New Jersey, came from Portland to lead. We've seen that they've been well supplied. We've seen Antifa flags being flown.
The likely Senate Democratic nominee, Graham Plattner, is under fire tonight after he sent sexually explicit text messages to at least half a dozen women after he got married in 2023.
Well,
he's a dandy.
He is a dingle dip and apparently wants people to elect him for higher office. However, didn't realize that the tattoo he had represented nefarious things.
Yeah. Like,
so
we haven't talked about him, I don't think, but
gosh, I can't stand him.
Whether it's the Nazi tattoo, whether it's the sexual messages to other women, like he's got 3 or 4 scandals that would really bury any normal opponent. And yet he is the front runner to be the senator of Maine.
Do you not have flashbacks to Hillary Clinton? And it was those Republicans. It's not me, because as his wife is coming out going, why are y'all even interested in the first place? Like, leave him alone. Like, she's coming out running cover. And I'm like, hello, Hillary? Hillary? Anybody calling Hillary Clinton? This is a mess.
But did y'all see The View defending him? Like, all the ladies on The View were like, yeah, he's a homophobe and he hates Jews and all these things. He's a cheater, but the Republicans are so bad.
Yeah.
Literally what they said.
Yeah.
But we have to beat the Republicans.
That's cute.
Okay. We'll be back. We'll cover some of these topics. I don't know what autism fraud is. Y'all are going to tell me what that is.
It's a dandy.
And we'll have allegedly. We'll be right back.
I will say.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are thrilled to be joined today by Philip Brown. And really, when you want to introduce somebody who's done a lot, really it's to say, what haven't you done yet? You've done so much. You're the chair of the Jefferson County Republican Party.
That's great.
We will get to the event tomorrow night in just a minute. We've hinted at it, but you've done a lot. I met you when we were running for office back in 2012.
Okay, that's been a while.
And I was running for House 43.
Okay. I was
And
running for the Public Service
Commission. That's right. So we were on the road at a couple of things together, but it's good to see you again. I know you stay very active in the party and party affairs, but tell us about you. You are a teacher.
Former teacher, yes.
Former teacher.
Yes.
But tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, I born in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
I grew up in South Alabama, a little town called Elba in Coffee County.
Yes.
Went to Faulkner University and went on to go to work. And I've been a diesel mechanic for several years, and then finally went into teaching and started teaching automotive technology. And then along the way, got involved in politics. It's really interesting. My dad I'm number 10 of 12 kids. My dad was a conservative at heart, but he was non-political. In fact, he believed that anybody who had anything to do with the government, or even if you voted, you probably was going to hell.
Well,
and so more I lived, the more I think maybe he was right. But it's interesting. He didn't serve didn't think he was right to serve in the military or even vote. And then most of my brothers and sisters went to the military, and I got into politics.
Isn't that a thing? That's a whole thing.
That's some latent teenage rebellion, I'm sure.
So what you were involved with the minority GOP for a while. Now you're chairman of the Jefferson County GOP. When did you take over that role? About a year ago?
Yes, January the 20th, actually, of 25. I became chairman of the Jefferson County Republican Party.
What have you all, what are your goals? What are you working on now that you are in charge and can make some decisions? What is your main push as you are chair of that county?
Well, if you know anything about the makeup of the political landscape of Jefferson County, you know that we are losing at 3 to 4 points every election. For the last 10 years, we've lost every countywide seat that we've fought for. But it was always right about 48%. We would just miss it. I mean, no matter whether we poured a bunch of money into it or we spent no money at all. It's always been consistently that way. And as you know, my background is leading the minority GOP for the last 15 years. with the state of Alabama. And so I've always pushed the importance of reaching out to minority communities. We have a conservative message with the Republican Party. Most minority communities are very conservative. You don't get very much more conservative than the Black church, but they don't vote that way. And that's the perplexing thing. And I think for us as Republicans, we're more or less thrown up our hands and say, it's hopeless. Why should we? I've even had Republicans tell me, we don't want to go out and reach out to the communities like that because they're not going to pay us any attention, just wasted time. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because, we complain that the Democrat Party paints such an ugly picture of us, but they're the only one talking. And so if we don't say something, if we don't defend where we stand, then how would anybody know the difference?
If the Black community, you say, is conservative, but they don't vote that way, why is that?
Well, we're in the cradle of the civil rights era, of civil rights here in Alabama. Birmingham was, the center of all of that, and you still have a generation of the leading people who remind us constantly of the marches, of the water hoses, of the dogs, and somehow or another they have changed history to read that the Democrats brought all the freedoms that come through the civil rights. And it really doesn't matter how much you preach otherwise. They've come to believe that the Republicans fought against civil rights when it's technically it's absolutely the opposite.
Yes,
the Democrats did. But Lyndon Baines Johnson was the president at the time, and no matter what you get, when you have legislation that's passed, the president gets either the credit or the blame for it.
yes.
And even though it was a majority Republican Congress that forced the situation, and the Democrats fought against it, Joe Biden especially, fought against it tooth and nail, we still see all the pictures of Dr. King and President Kennedy side by side in almost every church and every home in the Black community. But one of the things that has given me an encouraging feeling is that all of the crazy left-wing stuff that has happened over the last 4 years has pushed the Black community, the Hispanic community, as well as even the Muslim community into a position where they said, we can't support that. That's absurd. And we're beginning to see a shift nationally, and I believe we're also seeing a shift in Jefferson County, where people are beginning to open their eyes up and say, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We're not letting men go in the bathroom with my little girl. I'm not, we're not going to let our little girl, our young ladies get abused on sports courts to men who can't compete with men and decide they want to beat up on women. And then the idea of toxic masculinity has just really the Black male has become so frustrated with the idea that we don't matter anymore. And that's tough.
Yeah.
I had a meeting with the Muslim community just recently, and they're very conservative, and they really want to support the Republican Party. But their fear is that, we're going to hold their religion against them. And, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of truth to that. A lot of people are very skeptical and very concerned with the Sharia law concept, even though most Muslims in America won't practice that.
That's so interesting. And do you think that when you've had conversations specifically with the Muslim community, do they understand that their book says that they can lie? I mean, do they know that we're skeptical because of what their own religion teaches them? And if the ones that don't practice, maybe they're secular Muslims, are they willing to take stands and say, that's not what we believe?
Well, it's very difficult to make a person take a public stand against something that is socially acceptable in their circle. I get it all the time in the Black community. I'm talking about, my wife, is very much against me being a Republican.
Just so casual today. JP pushed a break for us. Cheers. It's too hot outside to have another cup of coffee. And I went downstairs to the fridge and I got, those are our Coke Zeros, by the way. I did get those. But
oh, good.
I did do that. But
Also,
anywho,
that's not true about the coffee.
What
you don't
about the
think it's too
coffee?
hot?
No. I mean, I wouldn't drink it outside, but it's 73 in here.
It feels great in here. And I am so thankful because before it felt like you were walking into the forest in the middle of the summer.
It was a sauna.
Like hot.
I'm
So-
kind of cold.
What,
Yeah,
are
I'm
you?
a little cold too, actually.
Yeah, I'm a little
chilly.
chilly.
It's
Might
chilly.
bump it up one.
Okay.
Can you bump
So we have rolled through, but is there anything else we want to cap off about Graham Plattner? Any other thoughts? It's kind of unbelievable. I've also heard the guy's never had a job.
So he's going to DC today. Let's Kalshi odds bet.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored
No.
by Monster or Coca-Cola or
No,
Kalshi.
No.
By no one.
We're just free, you know.
Did they ask him to step down and step away from the race?
No.
You don't think
You don't
so?
think they will?
Did they ask what's his face to stop running for lieutenant governor of Virginia after it came out that he was literally saying that Republicans in Virginia should be shot and killed? No. If they're gonna win, they don't care.
Are they going to win?
He's the front runner. Like he will win, I think.
Is this the guy going against Collins in Maine?
Yeah, let's actually go to Kalshi.
Oh,
See.
boy, that's awful.
Y'all keep
Start.
deliberating your thoughts.
Well, I'm bothered. From what I learned, this a couple weeks ago from the Daily Wire about him and not having a job, hating capitalism, doing all the normal
he's a communist.
stupid things.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
He's such a communist. What?
What?
He's at a 94% chance to win on Kalshi.
You know what, Maine? You deserve it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's gonna win, the Democrats could care less.
Oh my word. Okay.
What
well,
was the guy's name in Virginia? I could see his face. It was
that guy?
Will.
I mean,
Yes.
he disappeared. I mean, no, he didn't.
He is okay. It's not the lieutenant governor. I think it's the attorney general. Actually,
Yeah. He was in his, I remember a video of him in his house talking about killing Trump.
Jay Jones.
Yes.
He wanted to turn. It came out the most egregious text about how literal Republicans. He wasn't just making blank. Like, he was saying specific Republicans in Virginia were fascist and they were breeding little fascists and they just needed to be killed. And he still won. They could care less about any of that. So no, things that on the Republican side, like, yeah, that sort of stuff. Seriously, this is our candidate. But the Democrats, they don't care. It's, okay, yeah. Are you gonna win? Okay, fine. Because they don't care about morals. They just need that number in the chamber to win. Which, by the way, that's taking it too far. But that just also shows, like, they don't care about the people. They don't care about the morals. They just care about the game. Can we beat them in the game? Do we have more people than them? And that's what they care about. So,
But who did they take out recently? That
it was
Oh,
Eric Swalwell.
yeah, they did.
yeah. So like at some point, does it? No, but that's because that was because of their jungle primary, and they were afraid that he was going to mess that up, and 3 Republicans were going to. Okay, so yes, you're right.
But isn't that interesting? As you're saying that, I'm thinking Republicans would fold. Democrats are like, this is our person. Because when they are in that same situation in California and 3 Republicans might get through, they're like, absolutely not, hold the line. And they weren't going to move until they were forced to. And we don't do that. We don't fight back the same way.
Well, okay, wait. Let's say all this came out about, say, Graham
Graham Plattner. Yeah.
Plattner. What a terrible Plattner. My name's Graham Plattner. Say it can't. He's a Republican, and all this stuff started leaking out. Did the Republicans take the high road and say, you know what? Appreciate you running, but we're going to need you to step down because you just don't represent. Or if he's in the lead, do they just double down, because it's like the Democrats, it's funny. You watch what they did with Biden. Like, the more they say it and the more convincingly they say it, you're like, oh, wait, yeah, he doesn't have dementia. He's fit for office.
Yeah.
Nobody else is worried about it. So what would Republicans do?
Well, we would rightfully cave. And like I said, this is taking it too far. Like, this is caring about the game far too much. Republicans need to care about the game a little more, but not that much. So I think we would rightfully say, well, let's find another candidate. I was just saying it as an example as to how little they care about anything other than
That
winning.
is true.
Saying like Republicans need to be a little more like that, but not that much like that. if that
No,
makes
because
sense.
we wouldn't. But then you think along the way where Matt Gaetz could have been pretty awesome, but he had problems and he went home. And, whoever else it was that just had to go home from DC that was a Republican, he was a turd. He left, but that's it. And so I agree with you. We do need to have more of a backbone, but we also wouldn't, I don't think, let it get that far that a guy with a freaking Nazi tattoo, ironic, from the party, who tells us we're the Nazis, who's got a woman problem, whose wife is coming out running for cover. Maine gets whatever it is that they decide to elect.
I mean, we could I could list several examples. I mean, just remember like John Merrill was going to run for Senate and all that stuff came out and he,
And yes, and Republicans are like, okay, yes, rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of the backbone issue where sometimes we need to fight a little bit more. We fight, and maybe it's a different issue, but we still need a better backbone when it comes to things we really care about. This is the extreme of that. But Graham Plattner is it's a hard pass for me. Graham, can you see him in class?
Graham Plattner.
My name's Graham.
It's funny. He was their answer to like all the metrosexual soy boy, skinny jean wearing dim males.
Look, we got a guy with a Fu Manchu. He's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like, immediately they knew, and they were defending him with his Nazi symbol from the very beginning. I mean, what
he covered it up.
Yeah,
like that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just it's they can't win. They just can't, and they're gonna win, but they're kind of losers.
Is there any other? I think we should get in allegedly in about 5 minutes. Is there any other montage topics? We want to quickly talk about autism bust.
Autism.
Oh wait,
huge.
no, I want to talk about Trump telling Bibi nobody liked him. But I do want to know, what is autism fraud? Is it people diagnosing kids with autism that don't have autism? Is it setting up autism centers?
This is from Politico. The indictments reveal brazen schemes where bad actors paid kickbacks to parents to bring their children to autism centers for fraudulent diagnosis, regardless of medical necessity.
So it was both.
Yes. It says, I'm trying to find a number here. The two defendants specifically were indicted for a massive $46.6 million scheme at the Smart Therapy Center and Star Autism Center, where they diverted millions to personal real estate and overseas transfers.
Where overseas? Does it say?
I don't. I have to click on the full
Somalia,
article, probably. But the RFK announced the largest autism-related healthcare fraud bust in Minnesota. The DOJ charged 15 individuals for allegedly stealing over $90 million in taxpayer-funded Medicaid.
90.
So, doesn't it make you want to look into all the autism centers across the country to find out what's real and what's not? This is a really big deal. He from the press conference yesterday, organized theft, deception, but mainly taking from kids who need it. I know there's so much more of this going on around the country, but what can we actually do? I don't know. But we should be, I think, very careful about these organizations that are just setting themselves up. And then people are banking on nobody looking into whether or not they're real.
After our conversation with Paul DeMarco yesterday and talking about how you can literally take someone's life, murder someone, and go to prison for 5 years, whatever. And then now these people are literally stealing $90 million, whatever it is. It is insane. Do you think of everything that happened in Minnesota, and probably nobody's going to jail? But I think if we got caught, what would be something? Okay, let's just go with like January 6th and like Tina Peters, who just spent years in jail for an insurrection. It's so ridiculous where we are in America right now. Absolutely. And nobody's held accountable, except if you're us, we're going to jail forever for the tiniest infraction.
True. It's very true.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm done. It's just mind blowing that like you can kill someone and go to jail for less time than Tina Peters did.
Right. And honestly, this story would have been like everywhere, front page news, like it should be. And
it's dramatic.
I was just kind of scrolling.
Pretty good.
Sorry. I was just scrolling on Twitter and saw it. And Abs and I talked about it when they announced the indictments. But it was not like, it was kind of just like, oh, by the way, you know, I'm like, this is a big deal. That's $90 million. Of course, it doesn't fit the agenda of most of mainstream media, but that's serious, you know?
Man, you guys, how are we going to keep up with all of it? Okay.
Did Trump really tell Bibi nobody likes him?
So there's a lot of angles to pull on that one and why it was leaked, because that was an intentional leak.
Yeah, it was.
Part of me thinks that the administration realizes that a lot of the Republican base, I say that because like Massey just lost. So ultimately most of the Republican base still agrees, and the older Republicans still are very, very staunch pro-Israel, the state of Israel, and whatever they want to do. But I think the administration may start to see a bit of the tide turning in terms of like my generation coming up. There's anti-Semites out there, obviously, but mainly just like, hey, why are we constantly just, letting them sabotage our ceasefire deals and doing, and becoming more questioning? That leak seemed a little bit intentional of like, hey guys, hey, young Republicans, Trump doesn't like Netanyahu either, something like that. But I do believe it happened because I understand from Trump's end. Like, do you remember when he was walking to the helicopter and it was last summer and the 12-day war and Trump had brokered a ceasefire, and then Israel like immediately just started bombing Lebanon or somewhere, and Iran started bombing Israel back, and Trump on his way to helicopter was like, they don't know what the F they're doing, talking about Israel. So I think Trump is more from the standpoint of like, I'm busting my tail to get a ceasefire, and every time I do it, you just start bombing Lebanon right away. It's like, stop, I'm trying to help you. And so I think that probably happened because Trump said that he was very optimistic about a deal being made. And then right after Israel started bombing Lebanon, Iran was like, we're done. Like, we're done. And I don't know if that's they're bluffing or not, but that's what they said. Like, we're blocking the strait again. We're done. We're walking away from the table. I bet Trump's like, I am working so hard. And every time this happens. So I don't know. You can debate whether the exact quotes are correct. Like, this is why nobody likes you. I'm keeping you out of jail, whatever. But I do think a call was made because both Trump and Netanyahu said that they talked. And Trump claimed that he persuaded Netanyahu to stop. So whatever the specifics of the conversation, that's up for debate, but I do think it happened. But I think the leak was intentional to be like, guys, Trump actually doesn't like Netanyahu as much as you think. They're trying to help, midterms, whatever. But
yeah. I don't know. I thought it was very interesting. I saw the little clip and I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
But they stopped.
They did.
Israel stopped bombing Lebanon. So, but that seems to be their go-to whenever they just start bombing Lebanon and Hezbollah.
Well, okay. There we go. You know what time it is? It's time for allegedly.
Allegedly. That was loud.
It was loud.
Sorry.
So loud.
I like it though.
JP, you get to go first.
Me first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my store goes outside.
Yeah, your name. What's your name today?
Virgil Heath.
Virgil Heath. Is Clutus is gone.
Our friend in Dallas is the one that gave us these names. I kind of like Virgil. However, my store goes outside the borders of Alabama and the state.
But we back to Mike Vrabel again.
No. The Vrabel Rossini store, I think, is over, maybe, until we see more pictures. However, this store goes up into Massachusetts.
Ooh, Yankee story.
So I'm going to read the headline, the first part of the headline to y'all, and y'all tell me what you think when you read this, okay?
You just scratched both your eyebrows at the same time.
This is an eyebrow scratching store. This store will make you scratch both of your eyebrows. So this is from the Bridgewater Police Twitter account at May 23rd at 10:40 a.m.
Okay, so this is recently.
Caller from South Pleasant Street reports male party wearing camo clothing and possibly carrying a bazooka in the area. So first, just picture that. Imagine that call if you're the police in Massachusetts and saying somebody is carrying a bazooka around the block. First of all, the police are definitely outgunned in that situation. So you got to bring like the whole unit out there because that's taking out like half of each bazooka round. So that's the first part. Here's the second sentence. Officer reports it was just a male landscaper with a leaf blower. And somebody looked out their window, saw somebody with a leaf blower, and immediately said, "That guy's got a bazooka. I need to call the police. I need to call the police." Now you would think, okay, well, surely if it's a bazooka, I need to really make sure I see him like putting rockets in the bazooka and putting it over his shoulder and walking around before I call the police. Or maybe he's got a backpack on and he's, bazooka in the leaves into, whatever. I think it would do a little bit more damage if he was doing that. But I just read that and I think about how the person was so convinced that it was a bazooka. They called the police. They were so now was this Meemaw who is getting dementia or something? I don't know. But I just saw that story and thought it was so funny. It's got 2 million views on Twitter. It's just the calls for a bazooka in the area. Officer reports it's male landscaper with leaf blower.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you reread the first part of that? Because in my head, you said he was in a camel costume.
It says reports male party wearing camo clothing. First of all, how could they even see the guy? Possibly carrying a bazooka in there. Can you imagine wearing like a
You also thought something else earlier too. She needs to go home.
Okay, camo. That makes sense. Maybe the leaf blower was in camo too, and it just looked like a bazooka.
I mean, I can understand it being that more threatening if you just see a floating bazooka. The guy's wearing camo, you can't see him. Like, I understand. That'd be quite intimidating. You call the police, but it's just a leaf blower.
He's just out there bazooka in those leaves.
Like that's a little dramatic. But allegedly, there was somebody carrying a bazooka around in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. But don't false alarm. It was just a leaf blower. It was just a leaf blower.
So good to know.
Just a camel
carrying a leaf blower. We got real problems.
Don't make me leak my mascara again.
Okay. All that mascara is going to come off your face today, darling. So, I just, in honor of my husband's profession, I have to channel Anna Martha. I'd like y'all to know this is also outside our bounds. This is out in Seattle. I don't know if any of y'all ever been to Pioneer Square. I have, and I thought I was going to die. Mm-hmm. But they're going to head up the FIFA. No, that FIFA is going to be in San Francisco. So never mind. Anyway, I just want to know if y'all think this is a surprise. Have you been to Pioneer Square?
I've been to Seattle, but I don't know about Pioneer Square.
Well, it's a real nice square if you take away all the homeless and all the drugs.
Okay.
And you walk around, like you ain't scared. But anywho, I'd like y'all to know, in a shock and turn of events, that Seattle's 116,000 smart restroom was vandalized 2 weeks after installation. They put a no-bid turlet contract that they won, and they put it in Pioneer Square. And if y'all been there, you know that it's this beautiful old kind of square, kind of old-timey, and you can get good coffee and sandwiches and stuff, except that's also where the homeless live, and they live in big old tents, and they don't think a thing about coming up to you, asking you for money and such. Anywho, I've been there with one of my daughters. But they installed a turlet, and it was $118,000 in this beautiful little hub that says smart toilet, and it got vandalized.
What makes a toilet smart?
$16,000?
Yes. I don't know why smart.
Is it like,
because it was and had, that's right. It is about number 2. They spent a fortune in public dollars on smart restrooms ahead of the World Cup. I was right. I shouldn't have doubted myself. But they got taxpayer funded toilets, and they did drugs in them. They did other sorts of reprehensible things in the toilets. And, that's why that Seattle can't have nice things, but they ruined them. Drugs, prostitution.
Ooh,
vandalized them just for fun.
Nasty.
And what I'm wondering is, what are they going to do when the World Cup is there?
That's nasty.
It's nasty. But that's why they say in this article from Not the Bee, it's why Seattle can't have nice things, because they done do things like this. It's a dang turlet, 4 of them, and y'all let them go to pot in 2 weeks. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
And heroin. And cocaine.
What makes it? I'm still beyond.
It's smart fentanyl, dirty fentanyl, whatever that fentanyl is.
If you put a smart toilet in Seattle, it'll be doing crack in about 2 weeks.
It'll be real dumb.
So dumb. It is so dumb.
Well, that was dumb.
It's so dumb. It's about the dumbest thing I ever heard.
Why don't we just put holes in the ground?
It'd be easier. They'd be more familiar with them.
I think you can't take a hole and move it. I guess you could fill it up. Then you just dig another. It'd be way cheaper.
Maybe Seattle knows right now they're going to have to do what Gavin Newsom did out in California and just go and scoop up all the homeless and move them out and pretend like they're never there.
That's
mean. That's only when Chairman G comes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's just on regular citizens coming to watch the FIFA World Cup.
They don't count.
That's right.
So y'all are kind of lame. Why y'all do this to me? Because I was the one that came in with no allegedly. And then I said, oh, I think I might stir the pot here in Alabama. But all of this information is public. You just have to know who to talk to. But allegedly, apparently, unfortunately, there's some shenanigans going down as we've been talking about. And there's some in this U.S. Senate race. So someone that is associated, I won't say their name, that they are associated with the Jared Hudson campaign.
Yes, ma'am.
They put out on the Book of Faces, where all the boomers go to get the information. And it says over the last few days, multiple people have shared that they've received calls from powerful individuals connected to Washington politics, consultants and lobbyists, encouraging and in some cases pressuring them not to support Navy SEAL and U.S. Senate candidate Jared Hudson. What's most concerning is not disagreement. That's politics. People are free to support whoever they choose. Oops, I just hit the wrong button. Hold on. It's back. What's concerning is when everyday Alabamians feel they cannot support publicly the candidate they believe in without fear of consequences and professional repercussions from Washington. One story shared was about someone being told to remove a simple Facebook photo because it featured a Jared Hudson sticker on the shirt. That sounded like a bad on the shirt. Whether you support Jared, Barry, or someone else entirely, that is pressure. That kind of pressure should concern us all. Alabama voters deserve the freedom to think for themselves, speak for themselves, and support who they believe to best represent them. So, I don't know. It keeps going on and on. Do y'all think that's happening? Do you think Washington's actually calling people about Facebook photos?
Well, are they calling people that they think will be easily scared? And so they're pretending to be somebody from Washington, but I could see where Washington, D.C. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, you just call and say, I'm actually sitting here.
Wait, I'm not done. You got to push back that break.
I mean, we can go as long as we want to end the show. I'll just turn the music down.
I got a whole other side.
But I was going to say, can you imagine just saying, well, I'm here in the Oval Office with President Trump. I'm going to hand the phone over to him in a second. He does not want you to support Jared Hudson. Tell Mr. President. That's right. I do not want you to support Jared Hudson. Barrymore is my best friend. And then they're saying, oh, me, oh, my. They're pressure, so it could be the case.
It's true. Think about how all the shenanigans with the police, the fake police calling to say you're going to be arrested, and people believe in that. That's how they do scams. I bet they scamming some people right now.
So I don't know, but I mean, it's out on the Facebook. But then also allegedly, remember when I asked y'all the other day if y'all went to the party at the forum?
Yes.
Did I tell you why?
No,
I was
you did
asking?
not.
Why
didn't neither of y'all say, why are you asking if I went to the bathroom?
I was too scared.
Because that's a weird question.
It is a weird question.
Well, y'all just trust me so much. You're like, well, there must be a reason.
No, I can go potty, but I guess we'll move on.
We didn't, because we were talking to people, but we didn't go to the party.
Okay, well, allegedly in the bathrooms, not the smart ones, the dumb ones.
The dumb ones, okay.
Yeah, they out in Pelham, the dumb ones, somebody from, I guess, I don't know, I'm assuming the Jared Hudson campaign, or just a supporter, left a bunch of flyers talking about some of the people that are part of Barry's campaign and telling some of their alleged dirty deeds. So I was just wondering if y'all saw that. Did y'all see anything in the bathroom?
We didn't.
We didn't see anything.
I don't know. I didn't see anything, so I don't even know if that's true, but that's what they're talking about. Allegedly.
Oh.
These are the rumors that are going around. So y'all, I don't know. I just know politics is dirty, but it is like, look, I'm itching. I'm itching as we're talking. It's like when you go to that thrift store and you leave and you're like, ugh.
Got some lice.
Yeah, I gotta take a shower. So anyway, I say everybody just calm down. Calm down. It's all gonna be okay. Don't you think so?
Yes. It's gonna be A-okay, but we're gonna have to live through some fiery times between now and then.
I'm about to say we got 2 weeks of this.
I don't
it's
know
only
if we're
gonna
be
get
able
more
to do
intense.
it.
I don't know if I can make it.
We may have to stop bringing ourselves some snacks.
Here's the key. This phone here's got an off button. If you need to take a break, just turn it off, and then it just goes away.
But when you turn it back on, it starts going ding, ding.
And you turn it back on,
ding.
and you're like, "Wait, he said, what did I miss?" But you have,
and then you go, power down, Siri. Done. Did the music just go off?
Yes.
Yeah, we overplayed the music.
Okay, so we got to go, y'all. Tomorrow, we got big show tomorrow. Current Secretary of State and candidate for Lieutenant Governor Wes Allen will be, and I think he'll be in the studio.
That is so wonderful.
He'll be right there.
Yeah,
okay.
Right there. I'll scoot you over. And so Wes Allen will be here. And then on Thursday, we have Corey Hill.
Yes,
and we have Troy Miller.
And then on Friday.
We have a surprise Friday, don't we?
Yeah. The bus debrief.
We have bus.
But then we have another surprise.
We got a theater.
A radio theater. You have to tune back in. But anyway, toodles, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow on the right side.